can get my knees down below my hips. I'm going to have my feet crossed, but you're welcome to have your knees under you or have your legs straight forward. Wherever you can comfortably sit, maybe you want to shake out a little bit or roll those shoulders, get out those cranks. We're just going to take a moment to bring that gaze softly to the floor and gently let those eyes close. Have your hands on your lap, feeling your elbows get heavy, your forearms get heavy. And allow that weight to bring your shoulders back down away from your ears. And take a moment here checking with your body, perhaps scanning from the top of the head slowly down. And just check in with how are you feeling today? Whether you've spent the morning on your computer or maybe teaching some clinical students, whatever it is, just how did that affect your body? And how are you coming into this practice today? Are there any tight spots or open spots? Any spots that want you to move? And this practice of learning to connect to our inner messages, listening to what our body wants us to know, this alone makes us healthier. Learning to hear those messages so that we can give our body what it needs. Feel where your sit bones are connecting with the ground of the prop and allow that space to spread out and get really heavy, solidly connecting you to the ground. And from that solid connection, feel your spine begin to grow tall. Those vertebrae stacking like Legos, creating space. And then your neck and your head extend on top of that long spine. And when you take a nice deep inhale, maybe that inhale creates space between the vertebrae, allowing you to sit even taller. And with that tall spine, begin to draw out that breath. So make your inhale a little bit deeper and longer. And allow that exhale to be slow and drawn out. And we're using the breath change to, again, help us transition from the morning into our practice, into our self-care time that we're taking right now. You can let those eyes slowly open, taking in the light. Let's inhale those arms up nice and high, reaching with the fingertips. Exhale, turn over to the right. Bring your right hand behind you and your left hand on your leg into a gentle twist. We're just getting started. And then maybe you want to take your gaze over your shoulder. Perhaps using the back hand to help you, again, straighten that spine. And then bring your gaze forward. So keeping your body twisted, let's bring the gaze forward with the neck. And then drop left ear to left shoulder. You're not going to touch, you're just making your neck move that way. So it can stretch a little bit. Then perhaps you want to tilt your chin to the sky and the gaze comes up. See how that changes the stretch in the neck. And then bring the gaze back down to the ground. Checking in with how that changes your neck. And depending how you were sitting at your computer this morning, one of those may feel better than the others. And then bring that head back up to the normal, untwist. Roll those shoulders back. A few times, bring them all the way up and all the way back. Let's inhale those arms up nice and high. Exhale, twist to the left. And then bring your left hand behind you, tenting those fingers to help you stay up, and your right hand on your leg. You can use that back hand, those back tented fingers to help you keep that straight spine. As maybe you bring your gaze over the back shoulder. We're just getting started, so this does not have to be a deep twist at all. You just want to go as far as you change the sensation in your body so you feel the stretch. And then staying in the twist, bring your gaze forward and drop right ear to right shoulder. Keeping with that nice long breath. Bring the chin up to the ceiling, bringing your gaze up. And then bringing that gaze over and down. And the exact position of your neck, it can be different than mine, different than the other screens. What we're doing is we're just trying to gently shift our neck so we can find the place that we want it to stretch the best for us, where we can work out those kinks from the morning. And then let's untwist, coming back to center. Bring your hands to the sides and behind you. I like to have my fingers tilting back, thumb forward. And then shine your chest up, dropping your head back. So you're in a very small back bend. But think about, just like last week, if you were here last week, think about squeezing those shoulder blades together, creating more space across the front of the chest. And then exhale, come back to center. If you're on height, you're going to come off the height. You're going to find our tabletop. So spreading those fingers wide, index fingers forward. We're going to bump our hips to the left, and then gaze over the right. Gazing back at that foot. Perhaps feeling this in the neck and the hip. Back to center. Bump the hips to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder, perhaps back at that foot. Noticing where you feel that stretch. And we're going to come back to center. Drop the belly. Bring up the sit bones. Pull the chest through. Gaze comes up. Brace your cow. Really push the ground away. So you do a little back bend here. And exhale, push the ground away as you begin to arch the back, embracing that Halloween cat and dropping your head. Now today, you get to choose the speed of your cat and cow. If you want to go slow and hold the pose for a few breaths, I want you to do that. That feels good to your body. If you want to go a little bit quicker and just feel that wave motion in your spine, then I want you to go a little bit quicker. Part of yoga and advancing in yoga is learning what your body wants and what is healthy movement and what is movement that's maybe a bit too extreme for you. You want to be able to recognize that. So keep going out with your cat and cow. And whether you're doing it slow or fast, we're working that spine, loosening it up. And we're going to come back to a nice neutral tabletop. Keep your hips high, belly button into your spine. We're going to walk out the hands in front of us. So keep walking them one palm at a time, reaching forward. We're coming into puppy, which is a half down dog. And once you can't reach anymore, spread those fingers. Really feel the knuckles connect. And then drop your head and lower your chest down, keeping the hips up. And you're really pushing your hands forward. So if they weren't gripping the mat, it's almost like your hands could move forward. It's helping you lengthen your spine, your shoulders, your arms. And then returning to that deep inhale. Long exhale. Check in, belly button to spine. Pushing the mat forward. Dropping the chest. And then push into the ground as you slowly push your way up. Moving forward, kind of like an inchworm. And we're going to lower onto those forearms and belly. Into Sphinx. So elbows are going to tuck in close, coming under the shoulders. Forearms reach forward, nice long fingers. And allow your belly to drop toward the mat. We're thinking about spine extension today. So as you push your arms and hands into the mat, think about extending your spine nice and long out of your body almost. Think about gripping the mat with your hands, feeling your knees connect, and we're going to do spink roll up. So press the knees in, begin to peel off the belly and the chest, coming up to kind of a plank on the knees, on the forearms, and then roll the thighs down, the belly down, the hip bones down, and come into your sphinx. Extending the spine. Let's try that one more time. Grip the mat with those fingertips and begin to pull your body up, your stomach, your hip bones, your thighs, coming into that forearm plank on the knees, and then slowly lower. Thighs come down, hip bones come down, belly comes down. Extend the spine, proud sphinx. And let's try that one more time. You guys got this. Bring up the belly, the hip bones, the thighs, and then slowly lower. Coming to your final sphinx. Nice and proud. And then bring those elbows out sideways, stack the palms, and let's lower all the way down, forehead to the palms. This is still a mild back bend here today, so we're going to do quite a few back bends. If at any time it feels a bit too much, please return to this nice, relaxing back bend here, forehead on the palms. And if at any time you want to release the back bend completely, we're all going to do it now. You're going to reach your arms alongside your body, fingertips to toes, palms up, and let's melt the right cheek to the ground. And this allows you to come out of that back bend position and notice how that back bend made you feel. We're going to inhale, exhale, switch the cheek, left cheek to the mat, melting it down. This is also a nice neck stretch. Inhale, exhale, forehead to mat, hands by your chest. Get ready to push up into your plank on the knees. Whew. Coming back to tabletop. Tuck those toes. Begin to bring your sit bones back to your heels to float the knees. Push the front of the mat away and let's raise those hips high. Dropping the head and neck. And you can keep those knees bent, maybe adjust your stance. Just begin to walk those legs a little bit. I have been at my computer all morning, so I'm really feeling tight leg muscles. So if you want to stay in one position for a bit before you move to the other bent leg, or perhaps you're want to move a bit more, so maybe you want to add some hip movement, a little bit of dance in. So again, tune into your body. What does it need right now? Then slowly coming to stillness, inhaling deep, exhaling long. Inhale, looking forward. Keep your hips high. Let's baby step those feet toward the hands. Bend the knees, forward fold, belly to thighs. Dropping the head and neck. Grabbing opposite elbows with those hands. And if you feel there's a little bit of room to grow, think about straightening the hips. Or lifting the hips, sorry, rather than straightening the legs. And if you feel that you've lost that stretch in the back of the legs, bend the knees again. Relax the head and neck, and just think about gently releasing the hips. Checking in with that deep, smooth breath. Releasing the hands, letting them dangle, pushing into the feet, and let's slowly rise up. All the way to standing. Maybe rolling those shoulders back, arms reach down. Coming to the front of the mat if you're not already there. Take a moment to stand tall. Just like when we're sitting, feel the feet really connect and root to the ground. And then allow that solid energy, that solid connection to draw up the legs. Coming in at the spine and allow the spine to grow tall, like it's anchored, but it's also getting light as it grows up. Inhaling deep. Exhaling long. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach in with the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold, hinging the hips. Inhale, half lift. Really extend the spine long here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep those hands forward as you rise all the way up, reaching tall again. Exhale, hands to your heart center. By your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, really extend the spine today. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push into the feet, sweep those arms forward, reaching tall, stretch the sides, hands to your heart center, and down. This time we're gonna add on. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to plant the hands, step back with the right foot into a lunge. And we're going to drop that low knee. Slowly coming up to a lunge. So we're leaning into the front foot, finding our balance. We're going to reach our arms behind. So if you have a blanket or a strap, you can grab that behind your back. Or if you want to reach one arm back and then the other, palms facing in, rolling those shoulders back. And I want you again to think of that space between your shoulder blades and think about squeezing your shoulder blades together and then release. Find that spot, squeeze them together and release. One more, engage those shoulder blade muscles and release. Bring the hands down by your foot. Step back to plank from toes or knees, yogi's choice. Belly bend to spine, keep those elbows in. And then we're slowly gonna lower all the way down to the mat. Forearms out, we're gonna find our Sphinx. So if you're feeling a lot of compression in the low back and Sphinx, I want you to widen the feet a little bit. And we're gonna prep the Sphinx by pushing into the elbows, chest proud, and think about extending the spine long. And then begin to bend your left knee, bringing your heel towards your butt. You can point or flex the foot, your choice. Doesn't have to touch your butt. We're just changing the stretch a little bit. And then slowly return that foot back down. Let's bring up the right knee, bringing the foot into the butt. Just switching the stretch, adding a little bit. Continuing to breathe. Slowly releasing the foot. And if it feels good to you, you can bring both feet in. And only go as far as you feel a good sensation. You're entering sharp shooting pain. Just come off of that a little bit. Nothing to prove here. We're moving to feel better, not worse. Then slowly release those feet back. Coming out of Sphinx, forehead to the mat, hands by the chest. Maybe walking those feet in. Press the ground away as you push yourself back up to plank on the knees. Coming through your tabletop and coming into down dog. Maybe you want to bring those feet together in the back of your down dog. And let's lift the right leg up off the ground. Nice and high, three-legged dog. Inhale, looking forward. And let's bring the right leg into the belly, underneath the body. And we're gonna step it through into a high lunge, however you get there. That's a more advanced move, but we're having fun with it. Pretty much we wanna find high lunge. Whew. Back toes are pressing into the ground, heels pushing away. Find your balance. You're gonna reach those arms up nice and high. Interlace the fingers and bring the hands behind your neck. Base your neck, base your head. Think about that space between the shoulder blades again. Squeeze that together, widening your shoulders. Chest lifts, be proud. And bring your head back into your hands. Little back bend. Remember, this is your practice, so if you do not like all of these back bends, you can do a moderate back bend, you can be high in your lunge, and then slowly come back up high, reaching those arms up, sweeping them down. We are going to step back to plank and then down dog. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. And this time we're going to lift the left leg up nice and high. Inhale, look forward. Begin to bend the knee under your belly. Float forward into plank. And step forward into high lunge on the other side. Reaching those arms up. Interlacing the fingers and bringing the hands just beneath the neck. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring those elbows wide. Chest comes proud. Gaze comes back as you lay back into your hands. Connecting with that breath. And then we're slowly going to come up. Reach those arms high. Bring those arms down to the ground. You're going to step back to a plank. Drop plank to the knees. And slowly lower all the way down. Coming in the Sphinx. Whew. Feeling your thighs rest down, your hands really press down. And extend the spine. And as we're here, I think we just did low lunge on one side, so we're gonna go back and fix that in just a minute. But let's bring the left knee bent, heel into the butt. Have a nice, proud Sphinx. Connect with that breath. Slowly lower the leg. Then we're gonna bend the right knee. Bring the right heel toward the butt. You can see mine don't even get close to touching. We just want them to move in that direction. Release that foot down. And if it feels okay, we're going to bend both those knees, bringing both the heels into the back. And then double check that you have that nice long extension in your Sphinx. Release the feet. We're going to come all the way down. Forehead to mat, hands by the chest. Push the hands, the knees into the mat and push yourself up to plank on the knees. Use that strength there. If you're shaking, you're building strength. Coming back into tabletop. We're going to tap those toes and come into down dog just for a moment. And now, hardest part of being a yoga teacher, I need to remember which foot we didn't do the low lunge for. So I think we're going to look forward. Bring the right foot forward. Drop the left knee. And find our lunge. And this is where I'm also going to ask you to check in with your body and go, is this the side we stretched before? We want to do the opposite one. What we're doing is we're aiming to be equal on both sides. So everything we do on one side, we do on the other. So let's reach those hands back behind us. Palms facing in, rolling those shoulders back. Find that space between your shoulder blades. And think about squeezing the arms closer together with the back muscles. And then release. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And release. And one more time. Actively engaging those shoulders. And let's sweep those arms up nice and high. Exhale, bring those hands down beside your foot. Tuck the back toes. I'm going to step back to plank. Coming into down dog. And this is where you have a choice. If you want more active strength building practice, you can stay in down dog, provided you can breathe. Or you can bring those knees down to the mat. Bring the big toes together, knees out wide. Sink your sit bones back toward the heels and walk the hands out into a child's pose. And if your head is hanging in the air, then I want you to stack your palms and rest your head on the palms. So you have a choice right now, depending on the level of practice you want, how your breath is reacting, to be in down dog or child's pose. Both of these poses are equally wonderful. And whichever one you're in right now, I want you to ask yourself, can I inhale long and exhale long? Is it easy for me to keep that deep, smooth breath here? And if your answer is no and you're in down dog, I want you to come to child's pose. If you're in child's pose and you're finding your breath a little labored from the beginning, then just give yourself some time for that breath, that rhythmic breath to come back. I inhale deep. I exhale long. And then from down dog and child's pose, you're slowly going to come back to tabletop. We're going to bring the left foot forward between the hands, then the right, coming into a forward fold. And then we're going to sweep the hands up, sitting back, coming into a chair. In your chair, look down, see if you can see your toes. If they're hiding behind the knees, move the sit bones back. Bring your hands into your chest. And then let your left foot get heavy, right foot gets light. You're gonna pick up that right foot. Begin to tilt your body forward and reach that foot back. Reach, reach, reach. Let it tuck in, bend the front knee. And then let's cartwheel open those arms, coming to warrior two. So front knee is bent, back leg straight, arms are reaching long, gaze over the front arm. Now take this back hand, put the palm facing behind you, bend the elbow and bring the arm behind the back into a half bind, stretching the shoulder. You guys got this. Now let's straighten the front leg and begin to reach forward, popping the back hip, reach, reach, reach. When you can't reach anymore, bring the top hand down to the leg. Open your body to the side and come into triangle. Then from the side bind, extend your arm up to the ceiling. Finding the breath. And let's bend the front knee. Bring the hands down by the foot. And step this back foot in about halfway. Walking the hands forward, tenting the fingers. Rocking forward on your front leg and lifting the back leg up. Nice and long. Option to keep the hands down or to let the arms come up. You can come into cactus arms. And just play with the balance. Find the space on the floor that doesn't move. You have an option to stay here. Or you can take these hands, lengthen them forward, give room to reach, and then pull them back into cactus. Feeling free to just play around with that movement. It challenges your balance even more, if you'd like that. Then think about bringing your right knee into your chest, and standing tall, bringing that knee, scooping under. And let's set that foot down. Whew. Shake it out. Let it go. If you wobbled, if you fell out, that's our goal. Our goal is to play with our balance, challenge our balance, because every time we do that, it gets a little bit better. Let's bring those feet together. Stand tall. Finding your breath, your rhythm. Let's inhale those arms up as we sit back into chair. See if you can see your toes. Bring the hands to heart center. Maybe drop a little bit lower this time. Then your right foot gets heavy, left foot gets light. Begin to lean forward and extend that left leg back. This is just a fun transition. Takes a while to learn. So reach, 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 reach. Maybe you're taking a couple steps to bring that foot back. Bend the front knee. And then cartwheel up to warrior two. So that's just a fun little transition. Or a frustrating transition, whatever it is. Just take a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Bring your back hand in warrior two around your back body. Gaze comes over your front hand. And just embrace that inner strength in your inner warrior. I inhale, I'm aware of my body. I exhale, I calm my body. Straighten the front knee. And then reach forward with the hand, popping the back hip. Reach, reach, reach. And then bring the hand down to your leg. Open your body to the side. And this can be a little intense on the shoulder. We're switching position here. So when you're ready, we're gonna extend this top arm up into triangle. Gaze can be forward or up at the hand. Connecting with that breath. And then let's bend the front knee, bring the hands down to the ground, stepping this back foot in quite a bit, walking the hands in front of the foot, about 6 inches or so, tenting the fingers, flex the back foot, and let's lift the back leg. You can also take blocks and height to help you out with this as well, if you have any books or a soup pot. And option number 2 is to begin to lift the hands off the ground and come up into your airplane. And today's extra option, if you want to add some movement, is to reach those arms forward and bring them back to cactus. So again, we have many different screens on our practice today, many different options. You check in with your body, honor your body, trust your intuition, and pick the option that works best for you. No judgment. And then we're slowly gonna bend that raised knee. Whew, bring it in. If you touch the foot down, that's okay. See if you can stand up on that right leg, and then bring it down. Shake it out. Roll those shoulders. And we're going to step back with the left foot really long, turn toward the side of our mat. Now we're facing a different wall. Heels can come in a little bit, toes can come out. We're gonna reach behind us. Option to grab that strap or blanket, or maybe reach for the fingers. Standing tall, and you're gonna reach forward from the waist, bending forward. And if that's scary with your hands behind you, feel free to just release the hands and bring them in front. And then continue to forward fold all the way down. Think about lifting your hands away from your back body. Wide leg forward fold. Inhaling deep. Exhaling long. Let's release the hands down to the mat, walk them in front, and pop yourself up into a half lift. Extending that spine nice and long. And then exhale, come down. Walk those hands over to the left leg. Maybe finding the shin or the ankle or the foot. You're gonna reach that spine long and straight from the hip. And then think about your hip crease. Think about making the angle at your hip crease smaller. So your back's gonna stay nice and long. We're not trying to get our forehead to the shin. We're just trying to keep a long back. And think about touching your upper thigh and maybe your lower belly are coming together. And no competition needed here. You're doing a little practice every week, perhaps more on your own. And you're going to notice through regular practice that your flexibility and your strength will change slowly in time. And that slow, steady growth is what keeps us healthy. You can release the foot, walk the hands across the front of the mat. We're going to walk over to the right side, finding the shin, finding the ankle or the foot. Lengthen the spine nice and long. And then think about making that angle smaller between the leg and the belly. Nice long spine. And then maybe you want to relax the head and neck. You still have that straight spine there. I inhale, I'm aware of my body. I exhale, I calm my body. And then let's walk those hands across the front of the mat, out in front. Tent the fingers, come up to a half lift, lengthening the spine, coming all the way down. Hands to hips, bend the knees, and let's push ourselves to rise up nice and slow. We've been upside down for a while. If you're a little lightheaded, be careful, move slow. And then let's heel toe those feet back to center. Standing tall. Let's bring those feet about hip width apart. Bring the weight onto the left foot. Pick up the right foot and bend the knee behind you. Option number one is to stay here, balancing on the left foot. Option number two is to take the right hand and reach for that right foot. This is option number two. This adds a shoulder stretch. So if you don't like the shoulder stretch, just keep the foot belt held onto. You can reach the left arm up nice and high. And then begin to push your foot into your hand to bring that leg up. Maybe you lean forward a little bit. Really push that foot into the hand. And then slowly what we're going to do is we're going to reverse it. So bring the knee back in, standing tall. Release the arm and the leg. Bring the knee in front and set that leg down. Shake it out. However that went, we're just going to let it go. We're going to try it on the other side. That's the nice thing about yoga. You always got to try things at least twice. So left foot gets heavy, right foot gets light. You're going to bend the knee, heel toward the butt. Option, it's good on your shoulder to grab the foot. Quad stretch and a shoulder stretch. Inhale your right arm up nice and high. And then begin to push your left foot into your left hand to raise the leg. And then maybe that tilts your body forward. Find that spot that doesn't move. Connect with your breath, maybe laugh a little. Staring at myself in a mirror, it's really strange. And then slowly, calm on out. Release the arms, bring the knee through, up to the chest. And set it down. Shake it out. Pat yourself on the back. We're playing with those balances. And then we are going to come to the front of the mat. Raise those arms up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down. Bringing the hands by the feet. We're going to step back to a down dog just for a second. Bringing those back feet together. Raise the right foot up. And we're going to bring that knee into the chest like we did earlier, floating forward into the plank. But think about the knee coming over to meet the right wrist. And that leg is going to come on the mat. Other foot reaches long. Now, this front leg, we're coming into pigeon. You may have seen people do it where their front leg is like parallel with the mat. I want your knee to feel good. So your foot can be tucked in right along your leg like this. Your foot does not have to be out like this. So I want no sensation in your knee here. And then bring your hands beside your body. This back leg reaches long, and you're going to sit tall into a proud pigeon. Reaching that spine long, just like in Sphinx. If your knee feels good, you can begin to fold at this hinge point at the hips, coming forward, walking these hands out. Maybe you want to hold yourself there with the hands. Maybe you want to come down onto your forearms or a pillow. Maybe you can go all the way down. We all have different bodies here. And if your knee is really hurting in here, I want you to come out, and I'm going to show you how to do this on your back. So if you're in pigeon, connect with your breath. If your knee is hurting in this pose, I want you to come out. Flip yourself over on your back. We're going to bring the knee into the chest. Then we're going to come back to this figure 4 that we've done in the past. Maybe reverse pigeon with the hands on the shin. So this pose does the same thing, but due to our body makeup, this one can be a lot less impactful on the knee. So this is where I really want you to learn to listen to your body, to trust your body, and pick the option that works best for you. Because our own bodies all do different things. And the secret to a wonderful, long-lived yoga practice for your life is to be honest with those sensations coming from your body. If you're laid down long in pigeon, I want you to slowly walk back up nice and tall. You're going to plant those fingers, tuck the toes, and we're going to find our way to down dog to set up for pigeon on the other side. If you are on your back doing reverse pigeon, you can begin to move into the other side. So raise your left foot up nice and high. We're going to bring the knee into the chest, floating forward into plank, and bring the knee toward the left wrist. Adjusting the foot so your knee does not hurt. And walking that back leg back. Hands on either side of the body. We're going to start by sitting tall, elongating the spine. And keeping that spine nice and long, you're going to begin to walk those hands forward. Finding your option of height in pigeon so that you can keep that spine long. You're not feeling any pressure in the knee. Usually we feel pigeon in the butt muscles and in the hip muscles a lot. And since this is the first time we're doing this pose this year at SAS Poly, if you have any questions about this pose, any pose really, but especially pigeon and your knee, I would like you to message us at Wellness because we would like to help you find a good option for this pose. Connect with that breath nice and long, nice and deep. And then slowly, when you're ready, you're going to begin to walk yourself up and out of the pose. You're going to tap those back toes and wind your leg however you can. I'm coming to a plank on my knees, and then I'm slowly going to lower all the way down to the mat. I'm going to reach my right arm forward, my left hand on my chest, and I'm going to roll on over my arm onto my back body. If you're on your back body, you can stay there. Recenter on your mat. Bring those arms out into cactus. Walk those feet in. Legs bent. We're slowly going to let those legs drop to the right side. Gaze to the left into a little twist. And this is a nice relaxed twist to end our practice. So let your knees drop and your neck drop. as much as they want to naturally. And then let go of any effort and let gravity help you out a little bit. I want you to just observe where the breath is going in your body. Where does the breath want to expand into when you're in a twist? And we're going to bring the knees slowly back to center, gaze to center. We're going to drop the legs to the other side. Bring the gaze over. Allowing everything to slowly fall. And allow time and gravity to just help us out in this pose. Maybe you can feel that little millimeter or two of just sinking toward the ground. Slowly, with no effort from you. I think that's such a cool feeling. And we're slowly going to bring the gaze back to center, knees to center. Reach out those legs long, heels to corners. We're going to bring the hands on the belly, tuck the chin. Because this is a shorter noon hour practice, we're going to end with a few ballet breaths to calmly bring us into the afternoon. So pick your favorite color of balloon, plop it in your belly. And as you inhale, feel that balloon grow big beneath your hands. Pause at the top, admire the color, and then slowly let that balloon deflate and allow your belly to fall back down. Do a few more slow balloon breaths to your own speed. And just take this time with the balloon breath to allow your body to release into the ground. It's just like we use breath to transition into our practice. We're using our breath to transition out of the practice. To bring our bodies and our minds back into a more equal state. When you're done that next exhale, no rush. You can plant one foot on the mat and then the other. Reach those arms up overhead if there's room. I'm bending my elbows a little bit. And you're going to begin to let the knees drop over to one side, pulling you up on your side onto your arm. Pausing here for the moment and thinking of one thing today you are grateful for. Take your top hand, press it into the mat, and let's slowly come on up. Eyes can stay closed into a comfortable seated position. Maybe you want to roll those shoulders back. Find that nice tall spine. And just take a moment to scan your body and see how today's practice affected you. Bring those hands together at heart center. Tuck the chin. Thank you so much for joining me again in this Thursday practice. If you have any questions, please message us at Wellness. And other than that, have a lovely, lovely afternoon, and we'll see you next week.